Welcome back, everyone. We're about to kick off episode number 15, so we'll just get right into it. Japan is a place I've had the pleasure of visiting several times throughout my life, and it's one of those places I never get tired of revisiting. The food, the culture, the history, and the natural landscapes all make Japan one of my favorite travel destinations. This is definitely going to be a two-part episode since there's so much to cover here. I won't give away our plans for part 2, so for right now I'll go ahead and just set the stage for part 1. Make sure you watch until the end for a sneak peek at part 2 and how we plan on concluding our trip. For the first part of our trip, we'll be landing in Tokyo at the Haneda Airport. We won't have much time to cover Tokyo in part 1, but don't worry, we'll be covering it plenty in part 2. During day 1, we'll be buying the kendo supplies that will be much needed for the rest of our trip. I'll get into what kendo is in just a second once we start the episode. After day 1, we'll be headed to Mount Fuji. Normally the mountain is inaccessible during the month of May, but we still plan on visiting Hakone, which is a town located at the base of the mountain. After that, it's off to Aizuwakamatsu. Aizuwakamatsu is located in Fukushima Prefecture, which is located north of Tokyo. It takes about 3 hours to arrive in Aizu from Tokyo by train. Aizu is famous for many reasons, but what stands out to me the most is its historical significance related to the Boshin Wars of the late 19th century. Aizu was one of the last samurai strongholds and witnessed firsthand the transition of power from the old feudal system to what would be the beginning of the Meiji era. Aizu is otherwise known as Samurai City. This location is well known for its samurai culture, and this is one of the reasons I added this city to the list for our trip. The last thing I'm excited about when it comes to Aizu is having the opportunity to practice kendo. Literally translated, kendo means the way of the sword. It is the art of Japanese fencing and has deep roots that date back centuries into Japan's history. It's no surprise that kendo is very popular in Aizu since it is directly tied to samurai culture. We've actually arranged 2 practice sessions at a local dojo that is located next to Tsuruga Castle. More on the castle's significance later on, but just know that it was the location of one of the last stands of the local samurai who opposed Japan's new government. To practice kendo in Japan is a dream come true, but to specifically practice in Aizu is something I'm sure I will never forget. We'll try to capture as much as possible, but as is the case with many things in Japan, manners come first, and we have to make sure we respect the rules of the dojo when it comes to recording. With that being said, I think it's time we begin our journey and head to the land of the rising sun. So we are leaving the Tokyo station and we are headed to Shibuya, and I'm here with the 3 Chus. Pretty sure I mentioned these 3 guys: Harrison, Gary, and Curran, all named Chu. So I better stay on their good side. But we are headed to Shibuya station, where we are going to Kendo Supply store, because we are going to be headed to Aizuwakamatsu here in a couple of days, and that's where we'll be practicing kendo. So we need to buy some supplies, mainly the shinai, which are the bamboo swords that we'll be using there. And we're about to head over to the JR station and get on the line that takes us to Shibuya. We'll see you there. So still day 1 here in Tokyo, and we just made it to Shibuya, which is a very popular district here in Tokyo. We'll be talking more about that in just a little bit. But before we head on, we stopped at a Kendo Supply store and mainly because in a couple of days we're going to be visiting Aizuwakamatsu, which is where we're actually going to be practicing Kendo. So we needed to pick up some supplies, mainly the shinai, the bamboo swords that we'll be using during our practice. So we're going to shop in here, pick up some supplies, and then we'll be exploring the rest of Shibuya. See you out there. Okay, so we're here at the Shibuya Crossing, which is located directly in front of the Shibuya station. This is one of the most popular pedestrian crossings in the world. It has been featured in countless films for decades. The Shibuya Crossing is the busiest pedestrian crossing in the world, with as many as 3,000 people crossing at a time and as many as 2.4 million crossings each day. One of the best places to view the crossings is at the Starbucks located on the north side of the crossing, as you can see. This is the perfect place to view the control chaos that ensues every few minutes at every pedestrian crossing. The Starbucks itself is a large 2-story location, and not surprisingly is one of the busiest Starbucks in the world. Alright, so we're kicking off the next part of our trip. We're headed to Mount Fuji from Tokyo. The weather's not really cooperating with us. As you can see, it's raining pretty good, but sometimes you can't predict these things, and we're going to make the most of it. We're here with Lin Tao, who's going to be our tour guide.
Hello, minasan, welcome to Japan.
Alright, and he is originally from China. He immigrated to Japan many years ago, so he's a full-time tour guide, and I'm actually going to let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit about where we're headed.
Sorry, I don't speak in English. 我是中国人啊，到这个日本20年了，然后一直做这个旅游。今天带着大家去富士山、人野八海、新浅间神社，然后箱根神社啊，在富士山周边，希望大家能玩得开心啊。虽然说今天下雨，但是我们的热情满满。干巴的。 这个人野半海啊，是富士山的雪融化了之后，然后通过很多年的沉淀涌出来的8个池子啊，水特别清澈。一会儿呢，里边有那个接水的地方，可以花200日元买瓶水喝，玩的 good。
So for our next stop, we made it to what is considered one of the base camps to Mount Fuji. And during this time of year in May, you're not able to actually hike the mountain, but it's still a great place to visit. Even if we were able to hike it, the weather is just not good today. It's super foggy and rainy, but it's still a great place, like I said, to visit, to learn about the historical significance of Mount Fuji and how it relates to Japan and why it's so important in Japanese culture.
Hello， 我们到了富士山5合目。富士山是日本最高的山峰，有3776米。现在我们来的这个地方啊，是2305米啊。上次喷发是1707年，日本的富士山300年喷一次。希望今天我们来富士山不要喷发。今天由于天气不好，然后呢我们登不了山。希望在美国的朋友啊，到日本来旅游，也希望到中国去旅游。
So, what are you about to try here?
So it's masashi, raw horse meat. It's exciting. Mom didn't think I'd do it, but here I am.
All right.
The bus driver recommended ginger with the soy sauce. I think it's a little bit ginger.
Oh, just don't leave me hanging, man.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, kicking off the next part of our trip. Leaving Tokyo, headed to Aizuwakamatsu. So we are about to get on the Shinkansen and head north to Aizu. See you there. All right, so we just made it onto our bullet train. We are headed from Tokyo to Aizuwakamatsu. So we're going to be headed north. It's about a 2-hour train ride, and then we have to transfer and get on another one. So we'll be doing that here in just a little while.
One of the best things about riding Shinkansen is the lunch bentos. So these are not just any bentos. These are actually prepared made by famous restaurants in local area. So in this case, we're from Tokyo Station. This one is a seafood one, and it's got uni on it, and then this is the name of the restaurant. It's prepared by. This is a traditional beef gyudon or beef ball, and it's really good. For those who prefer like the traditional, the Kyoto style lunch and dinner, this one has it. You got small dishes, like 5-6 different dishes, and then this is actually my favorite. This is the pork cutlet sandwich. And this is not your usual 7-Eleven sandwich. This one actually tastes really, really well, like restaurant quality. For dessert, I love these. These are jellos with fruit inside. So enjoy.
one thing to consider prior to your arrival in Japan is what you want to see, of course, how many regions, how many cities you want to visit. If you plan on visiting a couple different regions, I highly recommend getting a JR pass, which gives you access to Japan's bullet train, otherwise known as the Shinkansen. This is an extremely efficient way to travel in Japan. To put things in perspective, you're traveling from Tokyo to Osaka by car. It's going to take you about 6 hours depending on traffic and tolls. If you go via the Shinkansen, you could be there in less than 3 hours. So you're not just paying for convenience, you're also paying for your time as well. It's going to cost you about $400 to purchase a 2-week-long JR pass, and it's going to be a little more expensive, of course, if you want to upgrade to first class, but this is an extremely efficient way to travel, and I highly recommend it. Definitely look into it prior to arriving in Japan. Aizuwakamatsu is located in Fukushima Prefecture on Japan's Honshu Island. Aizuwakamatsu is famous for several reasons, including being known for its sake, pottery, and lacquerware production. Aizuwakamatsu is also famous for its connection to the samurai, Japan's warrior class up until the late 19th century. During the Boshin War of 1868, samurai warriors clashed with Japan's modern imperial forces. Aizuwakamatsu was one of the last strongholds of the war and is famous for being the site where several young samurai of the White Tiger Brigade committed ritual suicide during the month-long siege of the town. The Civil War brought an end to the Tokugawa period, and with it, the end of the samurai class. Aizuwakamatsu is rich with samurai culture, and there are several castles, mansions, and gardens that have been uniquely preserved. Arguably the most famous attraction is the Tsuruga Castle, which was originally constructed in the 1300s. Today it is one of the most famous landmarks in the region and definitely belongs on every itinerary that includes the city of Aizuwakamatsu. Kendo is a martial art that I've practiced for nearly 20 years. Visiting the birthplace of Kendo here in Japan is something I've always looked forward to. Literally translated, Kendo means the way of the sword. It is a style of Japanese fencing that encompasses the old forms of Kenjutsu into what is now the modern art of Kendo. It is practiced with a bamboo sword called a shinai, and practitioners wear armor that is called bogu. Kendo is widely practiced throughout Japan, and similar to European fencing, is based on a point system. Kendo is ingrained in Japanese culture. It is an art aimed at improving not only the physical abilities of the practitioner, but also the mental and spiritual qualities as well. Kendo is part of the school system in Japan and is taught as a way of preserving something that has been part of Japanese culture for centuries. Because of its strong connection to samurai culture, it's no surprise that Kendo is very popular in Aizuwakamatsu and is widely practiced in this region. We are here at the Budoken Dojo in Aizuwakamatsu, and they actually offer a tourist practice where anyone can come and practice here on certain days with no experience, just to see what it's like to put the bogu on, the armor, and to sort of go through the motions to get the experience. But afterwards, they have their actual practice, which they've allowed us to stay and watch. and we'll be joining them again on Friday for a real practice. So it's just an honor to actually be here and experience this in Japan in person, and they've been extremely welcoming to us. So we, of course, are very grateful to them as well. All right, so the taxis don't run this early in Aizuwakamatsu. It's about 5 in the morning. So Gary and I decided to just do a little body weight circuit. There's this shrine right by our hotel, and it's just a perfect place to get in a nice workout. Of course, you have to be respectful not to work out in certain areas, certain parts of the shrine, certain parts of the site. But we're on the walking path here, so we're okay. And we're just doing a body weight circuit with a little bit of stairs. So no matter where you are, you can always stay fit on your travels. and we are here with a local guide who's going to be taking us around town and showing us some of the historical sites. I'll let her tell us a little bit more about what we're going to be doing today.
Welcome to Aizu. I'm your guide today. And here's the place that bus starts here. The bus Akabe and Haikara-san. Very convenient bus. Then you can travel all around center of Aizuwakamatsu city. Aizuwakamatsu is the samurai city, so you can enjoy that samurai spirit and many cozy places. So, of course, you can buy the ticket here. 600 yen, one day. This is a one-day ticket. I recommend you buy here the one-day ticket because you can get on, off, and off. Just when you get off the bus, you can show the date. Very easy. Then we're gonna go to castle today. Then we use once, and from castle to different places. We're gonna go to the lunch place, very good cuisine, Takino. Gonna get on bus, and again we're gonna go to Iimori, very sad story place. The samurai warriors committed suicide, Jijin, the place we visit. But this we're gonna use the bus. So anywhere that in the samurai spot, we can use this bus. Thank you. Joyo manju and tea. So when we were served, they first please try the manju, and it's very sweet. So you can enjoy the sweet, something sweet, and keep the sweetness in your mouth, and try bitter matcha green tea. That's perfect. Thank you.
はい、ようこそ会津にいらっしゃいました。この建物はですね、250年前陣屋として使われた建物でございます。お大名様たち参勤交代の時に旅の途中の、お休憩所で使われた、陣屋でございました。会津には歴史がたくさんございまして、その中でも、鶴ヶ城であったり、飯盛山であったり、たくさん、歴史のある、ものが残ってございます。その中で、私ども会津の郷土料理をご提供させていただいている、滝野というレストランを営んでおります。こちらでは会津の代表的なこづゆですとかおまんじゅうの天ぷら、そしてニシンの山椒漬け、棒たら煮などを提供させていただいております。 当店自慢のわっぱ飯は、600年前に木こりのお弁当箱として使われていた器を使った、ものでございます。皆様どうぞ、会津の方にもお越しいただきまして楽しんでいただければと思います。ありがとうございます。
So one of the things that Aizuwakamatsu is very famous for is its lacquerware production. And we are here in the middle of town at the Suzuzen store. And it's one of the better places to buy lacquerware in Aizuwakamatsu. So we're about to walk in for the first time. We just made it to Ouchi-Juku here in Aizuwakamatsu. It's a historic Edo period street that has vendors and food stalls on both sides of the street. We just had some street food here right now, a few minutes ago. And this is a great place to visit from the main city of Aizu. It's about 30 minutes from town, and it's great to spend about half the day here. You don't need much more than that. The main street here, the historic street, is the main attraction. So it's a great place to get away from the main city and spend some time. Definitely worth the trip.
足巻温泉の大川荘、私山崎と申します。大川荘は、お風呂、お部屋、ロビーから渓谷を望んでいただけます。四季折々の渓谷を望んでいただける素敵なホテルになっております。何より一番の自慢はこのロビーの、浮き舞台ですね。ここでお三味線の演奏をしております。玄関を入ってすぐに現実を忘れられるような幻想的な空間が広がるホテルになっております。ぜひお待ちしております。
Hello, good morning. So today we're at Onsen, and this is a famous hotel where the Demon Slayer is featured. And we're going to show you how to enter Onsen bath. So this is a male bath. Male and female are separated. So we'll be wearing the sandals provided by the hotel till we coming in. So typically once you come in, you want to take out the sandal and you put it right here where the store. There's usually a clip around. So you grab one of these, it has a number, and you put it on your sandal. That way you know which one's yours. Because all the sandals are going to look the same, and you want to know which number you have.
So obviously for the purposes of this video, we're going to wear clothes when we go into the onsen, but the hotel has been gracious enough to allow that because they know what we're doing here, showing everyone who's never experienced an onsen what it's like. But normally you would not be allowed to wear clothes in an onsen. So we're gonna head in now.
So this come out to the outdoor onsen. Most hotels have indoor and outdoor version. So this is the outdoor version of this hotel. It's really nice. It's got 3 tiers. It's got infinity pool type of view. Especially good in the fall. You see the whole mountain turn red, or in the winter time when it's all snow. And it's really cool to be able to take an onsen bath right next to snow. It's just amazing. So you guys have to try this. We're very thankful the hotel owner allowed us to come in during their downtime. We have a private time to ourselves for 2 hours. And we want to show you how to do onsen in Japan the proper way.
All right, so we just got into the onsen, and the way this one is set up is there's 3 levels. The top level is the hottest. I'm in the 3rd level, and it was still a little bit warm. It took me a few minutes to get used to it, but once you get used to it, it's amazing. It's very relaxing. There's many therapeutic and health benefits to the onsens. Obviously, it just relaxes your muscles. It rehydrates your skin, and besides the therapeutic qualities, the views in so many of these onsens are second to none. In the wintertime, many of them are snow covered. In the fall time, the leaves are changing colors. In the summertime, you might have monkeys visiting you. And when you combine that with the therapeutic benefits, it's just a very, I would say, like spiritual experience as well. And it's good for your body, mind, and soul. I'm very happy that I got to experience it for the first time here in Japan in Aizuwakamatsu, in a historic, beautiful place like this. Highly recommend it. So it's a tradition to drink milk after the onsen?
Yeah. It's in the best. I don't think I can do it now.
Here you go. So you can have the bottom of the machine and then you can drink milk.
So apparently after onsen, this is a tradition to drink milk. They have these vending machines right outside the facility.
Hey guys, we're here at Gundam Factory Yokohama, where there's a life-size 1-to-1 scale Gundam. But unlike the other statues in like Fukuoka, Odaiba, or China even, this one actually moves. Like all the arms, legs moves. Like there's a little show with it as well. Also a big shop and a Gundam cafe here. And yeah, I'm really excited. Like this was built in time for the Tokyo Olympics. And it was meant to be, you know, like a big flagship, just really cool attraction for the Olympics. And they're actually supposed to take it out in March, so I was really bummed that I thought I wasn't gonna be able to see it. They managed to renew it for another year. So like, yeah, I don't know, hope has been restored, and we are here. And hopefully we'll see you guys here too.
We still have a lot more to cover in part 2, which is scheduled to be released very soon. In part 2, we visited some amazing places such as the famous old capital of Kyoto, the historic city of Nara, and Osaka, which is Japan's food capital. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for your support, which enables us to keep traveling and creating engaging episodes. Our aim is to inspire you to create your own travel itineraries and discover these amazing destinations for yourselves. Stay tuned for part 2, and we can't wait to see you on the next one.